Well, here we are. Riverdale Season 4 has come to a rather premature end given the current state of, everything. But even with Season 4 getting cut short by 3 episodes, that doesn't really change the fact that this season was almost completely pointless. Aside from the very first episode, which I honestly think was quite well done, the entire rest of the season was all build up and zero payoff. But now that it's over, as we usually do around here, for one last time, let's check in with Archie and friends. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Now, it's 2020 and pretty much everyone knows what a VPN is. It protects you when you're on the internet, it stops your IP address from being hacked and your personal data getting exposed. I mean, everybody needs one. But Surfshark VPN goes above and beyond your typical VPN. You can use it on as many devices as you want with just one subscription. They also offer HackLock ID protection that checks to see if your personal data has been leaked anywhere, like usernames, passwords, that kind of thing, so you can stay one step ahead. They also offer a service called Blind Search, which is a completely private and organic search engine free from data tracking and overreaching algorithms. And get this, you can sign up to Surfshark VPN today by going to surfshark.deals/Alex Myers and use the promo code Alex Myers to get 85% off the regular price when you sign up for a 2-year subscription. That means you get premium VPN services and a guaranteed peace of mind using any device or all of them at the same time for just $1.99 a month plus 3 extra months for free. So if you don't have a VPN, then you really need to sign up. But even if you already have one, go to surfshark.deals/Alex Myers and use the promo code Alex Myers to give Surfshark a try. Okay, back to the show. So Archie's just here now playing guitar and thinking about Betty after what happened at the end of the musical episode when they were all like, or whatever. And of course, Betty can't stop thinking about Archie either. One thing leads to another, and somehow they both end up in the secret bunker alone together.
Chuck is working late with Charles. The videotapes.
Veronica's with Cheryl. Doing her maple rum thing.
Archie. Why are we here?
I don't know, Betty. You texted me one of the mornings saying, hey, you up? And now here we are just talking about feelings?
That's nice. Right.
It is, but it's not like we can do anything more than this.
See, that's what I'm saying. You call me up in the middle of the night and then you tell me no handsies? What is this, Bible camp? But then, right that moment, would you believe they hold hands? All right, now make sure your kids are out of the room for this one, everybody. Now, speaking of Betty. After the adventure she and Archie had at the end of the musical episode, Betty keeps reading her old diaries from back when she was in 5th grade or whatever, and just completely in love with Archie.
Dear diary, today I fell in love with the boy next door. He has red hair and freckles and a scar on his eyebrow that he got when he fell off his bicycle. His name is Archie Andrews.
And mind you, this was all before he had abs and stuff, okay? So that's how you know it's true love. After she and Archie held hands in the bunker, you know what I'm saying? They meet up one more time and Archie sings her some sappy, dumb love song or whatever. And that's when Betty realizes that if she's gonna go down this road, she's gonna be stuck with some wannabe musician for the rest of forever. And the only thing worse than that is dating a DJ, all right? So she's out.
Stop. It's us. It's us. I love Jughead. And you love Veronica, don't you?
But then, what has this all been about?
I don't know.
So they break it off and Betty goes back to Jughead, Archie goes back to Veronica, and that's that, I guess. But going back to Archie for a moment here, Season 2 and Season 3 of Riverdale gave us a very important main character of the show that Season 4 just kind of tossed aside completely and everyone forgot about. Here we are, the season's coming to an end. Here we are, I hope that things could be just like they were again. Here I am, and now that everything is done, what am I? We used to spend all of our days out in the sun, but then you grew up and changed your mind, forgot about what we had. But just for a day, just one more time, lights, camera, amps. Remember when I was a star, Now, before going back to the main cast, I did want to touch Kevin just a little bit. That came out weird, but you know what I mean. Now, in case you forgot, like I did completely, Kevin and Fangs are making tickle videos. Yep. And one day, Reggie finds out.
What's up is I hear you two have some scam going where you're bringing in some serious bank. And I want in on whatever you're doing. So, what's the scam?
We make tickle videos for a guy named Terry.
How can you just say that? So Reggie decides to give it a shot, and after seeing how much money there is in tickling, he decides to try and open his own tickling business. I'm sorry, I can't. How did Riverdale come to this? Remember when this was a show about a murder mystery, and now Reggie and Kevin are just tickling each other? So they stop working for Tickle Terry and start their own tickle business, but Terry finds out, and he's not too happy.
You lied to me.
We don't want to make trouble.
You already did. So, here's how you're going to fix this. You and your buddies will give us 40% of your profits. Or you'll never tickle anyone ever again.
I can't do this anymore. So they come up with a plan to stop Tickle Terry, but that's when Mr. Honey finds out about what's going on and makes them stop everything because
fun is for losers. I want your degenerate website taken down immediately before it tarnishes the reputation of this school. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Good.
But anyway, back to the important stuff. You know, throughout most of this show, Veronica doesn't really do much of anything, really. Like, she's always there butting heads with her dad or kind of helping other characters a little bit here and there. But for the most part, she just kind of sits there and says daddy like 27 times per episode. So Cheryl and Veronica are working together to sell maple rum, but they run into some local hillbillies who sell their own maple, moonshine, whatever stuff, and things are looking a little dicey.
Can I help you?
Actually, little lady, we're just checking out the competition. Jinx Malloy of the Malloy family. Maybe you gals have heard of us.
No, I'm afraid I canceled my subscription to Trackers Weekly.
That's funny. You know what's not funny? You cutting into our profits.
So Veronica tells her dad about it. He beats them up, and then she and her dad are like best friends, I guess, because heaven forbid the status quo ever changes in this show. Now, the real main character of season 4 has definitely been Jughead. After going to Stonewall Prep on a scholarship, the whole season has been about him getting to the bottom of a mystery about this one teacher in this one class, which happens to be the only class he ever goes to. But now that that's all been solved, more or less, Jughead is just kind of floating through life.
Lynchian. Adjective to describe something inspired by the noted American filmmaker, David Lynch. And/or to describe something that is both incredibly macabre and incredibly mundane.
As per my last video, Jughead got a VHS tape at his doorstep that shows someone dressed like him getting hit with a rock by someone dressed like Betty. So he starts working with Charles to find out who could be making these videos and why. Now this leads him to a local video store where we get an interesting little piece of the puzzle.
Each customer gets a page.
Who's E-Mugs? Looks like they rented Friday the 13th 16 times.
Oh, that's Ethel Muggs. She's one of my regulars. Well, heck, you may know her. Goes to Riverdale High. She's a senior, I believe.
Oh no, not again. First it was that Sunflower song, and now this? Will Sierra Burgess' reign of terror never end? So Charles does some investigating into Ethel, and in her house he finds another videotape that really makes things not look too good for her, okay, you know what I mean? So Jughead goes to talk to her about it and see if he can figure out what the heck is going on.
This is a tape of me and my girlfriend filmed without our consent.
Video was called Ponytail Playmate. I thought it sounded fun, but...
Where did you even get this? From Brett?
There's a place in the back of the Blue Velvet video store. It's called the Scarlet Suite.
And what's in this Scarlet Suite?
Rougher ones, weirder ones, homemade.
You know, I love how the least surprising thing in Riverdale so far is the fact that Ethel is into like some real freaky stuff. Like somehow Jughead is just completely unfazed by this information. Anyway, so Charles raids the video store and finds a whole bunch of weird stuff in the back, just like Ethel described in way too much detail. But despite all this, they're not really any closer to finding out who's making the tapes or why. Now, the last two characters we need to catch up on, of course, are Cheryl and Tony. So what have they been doing this whole season? Nothing! There was like this evil doll that turned out to be her mom just messing with her because she was like bored or whatever, and then Cheryl and Tony just spend the rest of the season talking a bunch of sweet nonsense garbage to each other, and that's basically it. Now this brings us to the season 4 finale, which, like I said earlier, was not actually supposed to be the finale, and it really shows because like this whole episode is basically just filler. Everyone hates Mr. Honey because he hates happiness, and they pull a prank on him where they super glue him to his chair, you know, because they're all like in 7th grade apparently. And as you might imagine, Mr. Honey's not too thrilled about this.
Students of Riverdale High, unless the person or persons responsible for yesterday's so-called prank step forward, prom is officially canceled.
So the kids rally all the Karens in town to go give Mr. Honey a real stern talking to, and right after this, would you believe a new VHS tape shows up with footage of Riverdale High School. But then like 5 minutes later, Betty finds out that Mr. Honey made the tape to scare people, so mystery solved.
So you can tell us whether or not this is you and the screen grab from the video you received.
If you're suggesting that I'm sending videotapes around town...
No, not all the tapes. Just this one.
You're a copycat, Mr. Honey, and not a very good one.
And so in the end, Mr. Honey quits Riverdale High School and goes over to work at Stonewall Prep, and so now everyone can finally go to prom. But that's when we find out the truth about Mr. Honey and that he was actually a good guy who was helping kids, but he was just acting like a jerk the whole time.
Do any of you have any idea what that man has done for this school? This year alone, he personally arranged for 6 low-income students to go to colleges on full scholarships.
Wait.
And more seniors will be going to college than have since 1956.
Now at the very end, Jughead and Betty get a tip from one of the VHS tapes to go to Veronica's mom's cabin in the woods from like way back in season 3. So they get there and find something a little different. I'm sure it's all gonna be fine. Now, the only real lead that anyone has on the VHS tape mystery thing is Ethel Muggs. I mean, we know that she's the president of the AV Club, she's obsessed with weird, creepy VHS tapes, and she used to worship the Gargoyle King, so it's not looking too good for her either way. But you know, I gotta say, if the last major villain of Riverdale before graduation and all that, like the season 5 mystery mastermind or whatever, if that turns out to be Ethel Muggs, honestly, that would redeem the entire show for me. But anyway, hopefully season 5 will start this coming October, so guess I'll see you then, losers.